perform as Madam Gandhi. I grew up in New York City playing the drums and percussion. Coming from a background where I grew up just playing drums and percussion, I always say any Madam Gandhi song will always have my vocals, my percussion, and my live drums, and the electronically programmed drums like you heard in this track. And the reason is there's the physical joyfulness and inspiration that comes from recording a live drummer with my little accents. I don't know any program that can do that. I'm sure there's hella native instrument samples, but there's nothing like a person who is inspired playing their instrument. Live instruments, and especially for me, my live drums, always must be in the track because it's such a rare offering, but it's also because it's my form of self-expression. And the other thing I wanted to say too is that I think a lot of people are intimidated to pick up Ableton or producing or Pro Tools or Logic later in their career because obviously it's a big learning curve. But I do believe that if we want to control the narrative and not be dependent on somebody else, or we want to come home at 2 a.m. and have an inspired moment because I just recorded something into my iPhone and now I want to jump into my studio and plug it in and record it and make something around it, I need to have that ability. And many of my friends who I know who are still on their journey of figuring out how to produce, we talk a lot about how it's frustrating. You'll have a moment of inspiration for a song, but then you have to wait for the team to come bring it to life, you know, or you feel like you have to pay them or you have to convince them to do it. And so it's important for us as musicians to empower ourselves to be the best creators we can be. And oftentimes I find that my inspiration level is here, but my technical skill set is maybe like lower, right? And I think if your technical skill set is holding you back, you have to invest and do the work to make sure that they can complement each other. In the past couple years, my passion for gender equality and gender liberation started to really shape my music. I say very forthright that my music is a way to spread my message, as opposed to being a musician who champions a cause of activism later because it might be hip or relevant. It's important to say this because I haven't quite found a way to explain this better, but I do feel that producer culture has such a masculine energy to it. And so then what happens is it's tough to relate. Like sometimes I open up things like sounds.com, which is the native instruments one, which I love, or Splice, but like even the album artwork of the sounds to buy them, you know, to use them is like a naked female booty. And it's like, okay, I'm not gonna put that in my music because it has that energy in it, you know? Even though this sound is beautiful or this sound is dope, it's like, why can't the men find power and joyfulness in their own energy? Why do they have to exploit our bodies to feel cool, you know? And so it's important for me to say, and to kind of re-inspire and energize myself and say, what would happen if you gave Ableton to a brown queer woman of color? What would happen then? What sounds would she make? And then who would she inspire in her very existence? What young 12-year-old would be like, Madam Gandhi, that's all you got? Like, I can do something way better, you know? Damn, like, that's the level? Oh, I'm out here, I can crush it, I can nourish it, I can do way better. That motivates me. I think, unfortunately, Hollywood and music videos and things in public media oftentimes reduce women to very two-dimensional characteristics and oftentimes reinforce the notion that our value comes solely from our looks. And that's problematic because then young girls, when they're growing up, they're seeing makeup commercials and dresses and things like that advertised to them, as opposed to advertisements that teach them to invest in their own skill set so that they can be in control of whatever it is that they want to do. I feel like each of us really do have a purpose on this earth and something that we're passionate about in terms of social change and making the world better, making our immediate communities better, whatever it is. And then we also have the thing that we love to do, that we would be doing no matter if no one was looking. And so, you know, in the past 5-10 years of my life, I've really thought about, instead of doing things like being at an office or trying to please other people or trying to do what looks legitimate, what if instead I used my passion as my fuel to champion the social justice cause that I care so much about, which is gender equality and gender liberation.